Tensions are high as California Governor Gavin Newsom clashes with the Trump administration over a controversial order. President Trump has directed 300 California National Guard troops to deploy to Portland, Oregon, bypassing the governor's authority. This isn't a routine request, it's a direct command from the White House, sparking a fierce legal and political battle. The order comes just after a federal court blocked Trump from federalizing Oregon's own National Guard, so now he's turning to California's troops instead. Critics say this move is a clear attempt to sidestep the court's ruling and escalate federal intervention in Portland's ongoing unrest. The National Guard is usually under state control, but the president can federalize them, though forcing one state's guard into another is unprecedented and highly controversial. Portland has seen months of protests, and Trump insists federal action is needed to restore order. But using California's guard after a legal defeat marks a new, confrontational chapter in the debate over military force in American cities. The deployment is already underway, raising urgent questions about presidential power and the limits of federal authority. This standoff is now a national flashpoint, highlighting deep divisions between state and federal leaders. The country is watching closely as the situation unfolds. Governor Newsom is fighting back, filing a lawsuit to block the deployment of California's National Guard to Oregon. He calls Trump's order an appalling abuse of power, accusing the president of using soldiers as political pawns, not for real security needs. Newsom argues the president is overstepping his authority, and that the Portland situation doesn't justify federalizing another state's guard. The lawsuit challenges the very limits of presidential power over the National Guard, setting up a major legal showdown. Newsom's stand is about more than just California. It's a defense of states' rights and the constitutional balance of power. The outcome could affect how all states manage their guard forces in the future. The Trump administration is pushing back hard, insisting the president acted within his legal authority. White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson says the deployment is necessary to restore order in Portland, not a political stunt. The administration frames Newsom's lawsuit as partisan theater, accusing him of siding with lawlessness over public safety. Trump's team argues that when local leaders fail to control unrest, the federal government has a duty to step in. For the White House, this is about law and order, using every tool available to protect American cities. The administration is rallying its base, painting Trump as the decisive leader in a time of crisis. The legal and political battle lines are now clearly drawn. Newsom isn't alone. Other Democratic leaders are joining the fight. Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield calls Trump hell-bent on deploying the military to American cities, echoing concerns about federal overreach. This alliance between California and Oregon strengthens the legal case and signals a broader regional resistance. The conflict is part of a larger national pattern, with Trump threatening to send troops to other Democratic-led cities like Chicago and Baltimore. Each deployment has sparked controversy, deepening the divide between the White House and state leaders. The debate is no longer just about Portland. It's about the future role of the military in domestic affairs. The standoff is fueling a nationwide conversation about the limits of federal power. The next chapter will play out in federal court, where Newsom seeks an emergency order to halt the deployment. The outcome could set a precedent for presidential authority over the National Guard. If the court sides with Newsom, it's a blow to Trump's power. If not, the troops move forward and the legal fight escalates. The case could reach the Supreme Court, reshaping the balance between state and federal control of the Guard. Politically, the showdown energizes both parties, sharpening the divide over law, order, and executive power. The controversy may prompt Congress to revisit old laws like the Insurrection Act, seeking clarity for future crises. At stake is who controls America's citizen soldiers, and for what purpose they can be used at home. The answer will shape civil-military relations for years to come.